All right. So now let's get to Shawn Adli. I'm going to bring him on and we will see what he's got to say and show us when it comes to the CUSIP numbers. So you guys ready? This should be interesting. All right. Shawn, how's it going? You got a copy?
Hi, how you doing? How's everything? How's everybody doing tonight?
Shawn, it's good to hear from you, brother. I know it's been some time since I had you on the show. I've been terribly busy, as you can only imagine. But nonetheless, it is great to have you back on here. So I'm familiar with you. I know a good chunk of people here are, but I do believe we've got some new people on here. So tell them who you are, what you do, a little information, what you've done, and then when you're content with that, go into the new stuff, and then you should be able to present on screen. If not, let me know and share and show what you got going on. So take it away.
Wonderful. It's great to hear from you. I'm glad everything's doing great. And you got to be busy when you have people trying to pretend to be you, right? I mean, that's a handful, right? That's a compliment right there.
I guess I'm doing something right. I didn't,
you're doing something right? Absolutely. The last live stream was great. I loved your subscribers. I mean, the contacts I had with many of them, very smart people, very intelligent types, and definitely always like talking to your subscriber base. Good to see you guys growing, and look forward to continued live streams and continued interactions with your subscriber base. For those who don't know, this is my second time on James Lovett's live stream show here. I am the CEO and senior manager of Mortgage Audits Online. Basically, we are a pro-consumer company. We basically side with the people, and we conduct what is called mortgage audits and or securitization audits. We do forensic loan audits. We do document analysis audits. We pretty much can audit any type of loan. Obviously, we're known for our mortgage audits because, that was when we started. That's mainly what we were doing and I've been in this industry about over 15 years. So, that's many of them, a good percentage of the mortgage audits have been used in like cases, lawsuits, litigation, arbitration, and us being a pro-consumer company, basically it's used to help the consumer try to get things resolved, even in negotiations, formal, non-formal. So there's a variety of ways people use them. We also do credit card audits, auto loan, business loans, and we even do like document analysis. Like if somebody, if there's a document that people, consumers are disputing whether they signed it or not, like you'll have a dispute between parties. Like someone will say they signed something, or they're saying, oh, no, they didn't, or one of their family members, an elderly person, didn't sign it. And then the daughter or the son is like, hey, we had a similar situation like that where they were saying where the father didn't sign. And so we do those forensic analysis on the signatures, where we actually can show and basically show if how a signature will look, and basically conclude an opinion conclusive and say, okay, look, is this signature look like the person's signature, or is there a variant, right? So we call them variances. So that's the thing. And then those are used in disputes between documents. We also basically have expanded into CUSIP lookups, which is one of the primary topics of tonight. And the CUSIP lookups, pretty much we can do those on any type of document, mortgages, mortgage securities related, personal identifiers, socials, cases, somebody has a litigation case, pretty much any type of document or loan related, like to a security or something like that. So basically we get, a request for lookups on those, primarily on the mortgage securities, credit cards, auto. Also people like sometimes want to see if there's a bond somehow connected to their social security, which is a big one, or people are out there researching this stuff. This is something that, I've noticed that more and more people, and I guess we can thank James for this, more and more people are researching this particular area now and becoming aware, which is a great thing. It's always a great thing. I mean, when I was in this industry in the beginning, excuse me, when I was in the industry in the beginning, you really didn't see many people asking for CUSIPs or looking up the bonds or the ISIN numbers or even asking for it. But now I'm noticing it's just a wave of people, and you can thank obviously James and the internet and the education out there to people reading this stuff, which is important. I mean, obviously, if there's a bond or something connected to your security or your mortgage or your credit card, your auto loan, obviously, if that information is available, I mean, I would want to see, that information and see what's going on as well. And some of the examples you'll see the kind of money involved here with this particular area. I mean, it's big money. And, it's on the second, we call it the secondary market. It's a secondary market where the banks and the lenders are selling loans or monetizing financial instruments. And then you have the whole Wall Street world where you have, securitization trust, you have bonds, and the CUSIP, basically in a nutshell, one of the definitions of the CUSIP is basically just think about this. The CUSIP is a ticker symbol for the bond. So you have a ticker symbol for the stocks that you see on MSNBC, CNBC, and the stock ticker scrolling at the bottom. Basically, a CUSIP is in a sense, in a way, is a ticker symbol for bonds. So the security bonds, it's a ticker symbol for them. So that's one pretty easy way to think about it. So CUSIPs can mean different things to different types of financial instruments. And when I go through some of these examples, you'll see. But yeah, just let me know if there's any questions first, or do you want me to look at the examples first? Do you want me to show the examples?
Let's see. Okay, so we covered the fact that you can do a securitized audit for people's,
Right.
We'll jump back to the CUSIP real quick.
Great.
So just so people know, he does securitized audits for your homes. He can also do and quote me if I'm wrong, Shawn, you can do that for credit cards, loans. What about
Yes.
student loans?
Yes.
Any kind of, okay, because I have the people in the comment sections who are asking about that. Okay,
Yeah,
so great.
student loans. Yeah, we could do student loans, credit cards, auto, pretty much any type of loan, past, present, future. So even if you have a loan in the past, and we did one a few months ago for a guy who had a loan in the 1990s. So even if you have one currently in the past or you're getting one, we can also look at the documents pre-funding. And then once it's funded, we can also finish up the audit at post-closing. So we like to say here, pretty much any loan, any year, past, present, and future.
Okay. Awesome. I got your information up. So for those people who are asking in the comments section, this is Shawn's website information, his email, phone number, and also use discount code BADWOLF. And Shawn will take good care of you guys over there. Okay. So really, Shawn, the floor is yours. If you want to start, I kind of fielded a lot of the information that people were kind of asking about in here. If I see anything popping out, I'll interject. But feel free to just kind of flow with sharing with, how you guys decided to start doing the CUSIPs, like what was that changing point? What do you find in them? How can somebody identify a CUSIP from just a regular number? Show the materials you have and just, go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, basically we've been getting more requests for the CUSIP now. We did CUSIP lookups before. Now, basically, what a CUSIP would mean, for example, when you have a mortgage loan that is securitized into a mortgage-backed security or a mortgage securitization trust, what happens is that particular trust, when you extract the data, like let's say a person, John Doe, has his loan, $250,000, funded his loan, Bank of Blue. I like using fictional names, so Bank of Blue, funds the loan, and then it gets securitized into, Blue Remick Trust -2006. Okay. So when we go in and we pull the data from that trust, right? So basically, it's called we pull the screenshots and then we pull what is called the LLD. The LLD is called the loan level database. Okay, so there's actually a database in many of these trusts that will have a list of all the loans in there. So this person's loan, you can actually go in and pinpoint the loan in there. John Doe, $250,000 loan with Bank of Blue. There's different indicators of how to match it, but it's in there. So, for example, how a CUSIP relates to one way to a mortgage security is, this is one of the ones I always like to explain to people, is a CUSIP, like this trust will have, as it relates to the LLD, I mean, the trust itself will have a main CUSIP, which I'll show in the examples. And then when you go deeper into the trust, there'll be other CUSIPs. So that loan level database will have, let's say, 1,000 loans in there in the database. So 1,000 different people's loans are in this database. So okay, this is just a simplified example, but let's say they decide to split it up into 4 parts, that database. So it's A, B, C, and D. So this person, John Doe's loan might be in the first tranche. We call them tranches. The tranche is different sections of the trust, different sections of the loan level database. So John Doe's loan might be in tranche A. So that tranche A will actually have a CUSIP that identifies that tranche. And that's how they segment it out. And basically, so, that tranche A will have a CUSIP. It'll be like CW22489 or something, right? And so that way, we can identify, okay, it's in this tranche. So that CUSIP covers that tranche. And then B, C, and D sections of that database or that trust will have different CUSIPs. So in a sense, there could be 4 different CUSIP numbers that are attached to this trust. And then there's one main one, which I'll show you guys in the examples, that identify the actual trust or the bond that's connected to the trust. And that's one of the ones I always like to explain to people, because that's really the how it really related to what we do in the beginning, of the industry and how it grew. And that's one of the things that I noticed actually when I was a researcher myself in the beginning of the industry. But so that's one way to look at it. Then there's other CUSIP that basically relates to people's, like, for example, the social security number. You'll have a bond connected to it somehow. There are different ways to look it up. There's different websites. You guys, for the subscribers, just go ahead and contact me directly, and I can give you a list of stuff that you can look up. It's a bunch of different ways you can do it. Obviously, we do the lookups here as well, and I'll show you guys an example of that as well. But yeah, the CUSIPs, like I said, they identify like a person, they could connect to a person's social or their identifier number. Or you'll have cases, like, for example, you'll have like the litigation cases, right, at the county, right? The county, I remember hearing a story one time, and one of the people I was interacting with, and we were doing research relating to this. Basically, and again, I have to say that I forgot to say this, but yeah, just this, everything I'm saying is for informational and educational purposes. Just had to say that real quick. Basically, yeah, the county had basically, these cases, right, that were being monetized in some way, and they had CUSIPs attached to them. And basically, there was an office in the county, from what I heard, and in that office there was a computer, and basically they were putting the CUSIPs, and they were putting the record keeping and then monetizing them. And that's where they were doing them. And I remember this individual was telling me that he was trying to get in contact with someone in that particular room, and he wasn't able to get a hold of them. So basically, the cases, like if you have a litigation case, a lawsuit, some type of case, anything, you can, it's possible to look up a CUSIP attached to that case. And then when you look up the CUSIP, you'll get the bond information, and in the bond you can go look up how much is being monetized and things like that as a whole. So that's one way how it relates to cases. And then obviously with other types of debt, I'll show you a credit card one, and an auto one. I'll show you the bonds on those. Again, those are just, it's the credit card debt or the auto loan debt, obviously with the securitization, and then it's being monetized, and there's a CUSIP attached to the bond. So, and there's big money in this. So I'll show you the examples. And then once you guys see the examples, you guys will kind of see. Now, keep in mind, it is raw data. So when you're looking at it, I'll explain it to you guys when we're looking at it. But keep in mind, it's always recommended that you do the full report, because the full report's going to break it down for you. Sometimes people come to us and they just want the raw data, which is fine. I mean, we're here to help, but you have to remember it's a lot of technical information. You always want to get a full analysis on it, so you see how the loan fits into a trust, how the bond fits into the whole, the paper trail, and how it connects on the back end and the front end. There's all kinds of things in there, and we have some good examples on our website. I'd recommend going on the website, clicking sample reports. You can download reports right from the website. We allow that. You can download them, read them. There's that site too. There's some good videos you can watch on our website as well. With no further ado here, if it's okay with you, James, I could start showing the examples.
Yeah, right before we get going, I had seen somebody mention, they said that stay away from the process with the girl with the discharge, that they said it's not a credible source. So just do your own research. As always, don't just do something because somebody told you on, the internet, because people are people and people are fallible. So always do your own research. I don't even care if it's my information. I know it works for me, but I want you guys to do your own research. So study the code, study the laws, and then apply them, but always look into it on your own, reconnaissance or accord when you look that up. Next, Shawn, I did see somebody say that they were on the last live and they really wanted to get one of the free files that you were providing from there. They had just missed it. So any of that stuff that if you still have any of that, or if you can't provide any of that, can they still contact you to get whatever it was you were offering then?
Yeah, I'll show them how to do it. There's actually a section on our website. And then the Wolf subscribers will get a bonus on top of that. There's a lot of bonus stuff we throw in there for your subscribers. I guess I could show them really quick before I go into the examples how to get it. It's pretty simple.
Okay, awesome. And then real quick, JP, I'm glad. Yeah, I used to work for a cell phone company as a store manager, and I used to read their very large instruction manuals where I was actually teaching the general manager of the company how to operate the equipment properly. So for those people who don't know, if you travel around a lot and you have bad coverage, bad service, your cell phone is designed to be turned off. It's supposed to be turned off. Trust me when I tell you this, it's going to sound crazy, at least 10 times a day. Now, you would say, why? The reason why is because every time you pass by a tower or two towers, they are sending your phone information and trying to figure out where it's located and which one of them should have it. So your phone stores that information. After a while, if you go more than 2 to 5 miles, you've passed by 4 or 5 towers. All that information is stored in your phone. Now it's like having a party inside of your head in a loud, crowded room. So when you turn your phone all the way off, all the way back on, we call it power down. So you power down your phone, turn it back on. It clears the cache of all the crap that makes it have bad reception, bad everything, dropped calls, whatever else, clears it all out and starts fresh with the closest tower. And if you stay in that area, you're pretty well good. But once again, if you go past a number of towers, get too far, you might have that problem again. If that does happen, power it down, power it back on, and you will be good, okay? So that being said, Shawn, let's jump into yours. You should have the ability to share screen and present. So fire away, brother.
All right, sounds good. So really quick, let me show them how to get the free kit, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, floor is yours, brother.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can add that to the stage. Let me pop that on, and we are good to go.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so to basically to your subscribers and anyone listening to this video now or in the future, basically this is the main website, the front page. If you, I would recommend first, before I go into how to get the kit, go to the sample reports tab first. So you can see samples of the work in video format. It gives you like a overview of how they look in a video format. People like to look at this. obviously everybody likes video formats nowadays. So I recommend doing that first when you go on the website, and then you can kind of go other tabs as well. Basically on the download tab of the website, you can actually download samples of the reports. So these are like two of the main reports. Now, keep in mind, we have many different types of reports. We're currently adding some more samples here, but these are our two main ones that we're known for. So I'd recommend you can click right here and you can download them. Now, to get the free educational course kit, you would go hover over download and then go down to here where it says securitization educational course kit. Now, we recommend watching the video first, okay? And then basically what you do is you would just click on schedule now. We just need to get your email. And then basically here you could just fill it out and just put a time slot in your email and just put in there code Bad Wolf, and then that you want the educational course kit. And then we'll send you the course kit with the bonus items that we give to Wolf subscribers. And this is for now that are people that are watching now, and in the future, we like to help people and educate as much as we can. But definitely Wolf subscribers gets they get a bonus. So just make sure to mention his name. And then if you decide to hire us for anything, just make sure to put his name in there so that you get the discount as well. And that the discount applies to pretty much most of our products, especially the higher end ones. So yeah, that's just a quick overview there, but definitely recommend watching the video regarding the kit as well. Alrighty. So basically, let me go over an example here of a CUSIP lookup. Now, this was actually a CUSIP lookup. I had obviously we have to adjust the numbers here because can't show people's information, but basically this is basically what a CUSIP lookup will look like for like a single type of lookup. So this is just basically your raw I just your basic. I just want to see if I have a CUSIP or if there's a CUSIP attached to my social, my mortgage, my credit card, my auto, my student loan, or my litigation case, my lawsuit case, or pretty much any other type of financial instrument. This is just your basic lookup. So a basic lookup right here, you're going to see basically the client, which is this one. It was a business loan, and then you're going to see the account number. Obviously, this is all fictional information, but you're going to see the account number here. So, for example, if you had let's say you had a business loan, right? You'll have an account number or a loan number, right? So that's one of the ones that's going to be placed here. For mortgages, auto credit, you'll see the account number here. In the key statistics, this is basically what people want to see. So you're going to get the symbol, okay, and the symbol could be relating to some security, it could be relating to some bond, something relating to the CUSIP that was researched. So that's really important. And then this sheet that you get, this data sheet, basically you can go and look up the symbol, look up other pieces of information. It'll give you a baseline for your own research. Obviously, we recommend. This is just a basic data pull. This is just a data research. Obviously, we recommend you get a full report. So you could get this first, and then you can get the full report, or you could just jump into the full report and get the full analysis. I'm just showing you this so you see one of the examples. But obviously, a full analysis, a full report will have everything, right? It'll have the debt trail. It'll have the different parties involved. And the full reports run between 45 to 100 pages long. So this is just a single one-page data sheet. So basically, you're going to see the CUSIP, and then you're going to see the inception date, right? The date that the bond or the inception date relating to this, and then the net assets and the portfolio assets. So basically, this one here, as you can see, this is a big number. You're talking, $350 million. That's the bond, which was relating to this CUSIP. So basically, this portfolio asset has about $350 million that's attached to it, the value of it. And then under the overview, you're going to see, this fund relates to treasury bonds. You're going to see like a small paragraph here of what is related to this, basically this fund, this symbol, what it's about. You might get some, a bond basically that might be investing in treasuries, or you might get a bond that's, monetizing certain types of debt. Obviously, that's something that you want to know, right? So you're going to get that overview here. So basically, this is your really, really basic CUSIP lookup. And yeah, this is pretty much what it looks like.
So, Shawn, if I can interject.
Sure.
So somebody had mentioned, so reports are like 100 pages. There's really that much information on, because even for me, I've only got the I guess the raw data from things I've done on my own.
Yeah.
So there's 100 pages worth of information. And I guess one of the questions I know somebody's going to ask you, and you know, you can be honest. So what are some of the things that I guess you've seen in the pages? I mean, is that amount average that you've seen? So just kind of, I guess, go into that a little bit and then go on from where you were.
Yeah, sure. So basically, when I say that the report, the full report being 45 to 100 pages long, basically what that means is that the CUSIP data is going to be in there, and then the debt that's related to it. So, like for example, if you have a mortgage loan that's securitized, right? You're going to have the analysis on the mortgage loan. You're going to have the how the loan was securitized, right? That's going to take a part of the report. You're going to have basically the different things relating to the mortgage, the different fraud or things that we uncover with the lending violations, and then you'll see the CUSIP information as part of that report, like a chapter or a section in there. So that's kind of what I meant by that. Now, obviously, not all 45 to 100 pages is going to be relating to just the CUSIP. The CUSIP is part of the information as it relates to a lot of other pieces of information that relates to it. For example, to a mortgage security, or to an auto loan security, or to an auto loan debt or a credit card debt. And then I'll show you a auto loan one that we did with the screenshot in it, and you'll see that as well. But yeah, so the CUSIP is part of that report. It's like a section in there. That answers your question.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Somebody they sent a comment. They said, "How long does it take to get a full report after the purchase?"
It takes about a week. We like to say nowadays about 10, maximum 10 business days, just to be sure, because we're doing, especially if you order the CUSIP. So just keep in mind, it's just about a week, 3 to 5 business days, maximum 10.
Okay. Another quick question was, and you might have lightly covered this, but Matthew says, "What is the purpose of a CUSIP? Because it was apparently created in 1964. So did it just replace a previous system? And if so, what was the purpose of the system?" So anything you can share on that? I might have a little bit in there, but if whatever you have would be appreciated.
Yeah, so it was created and to identify, bonds and securities. So again, it's basically like for nowadays, it's a quick way to think about it. It's basically a ticker symbol for the bonds, and I see a lot of the bonds and things like that. So a lot of the trusts that I've seen, it's basically identifies the part of the securities trust, right? Or has a securities trust. So it's basically created to identify financial instruments, securities and bonds, and along the lines of other things as well. Did it replace a previous system? I think it was created to give more record keeping and more transparency. So, as you see, a CUSIP number it has letters and numbers, so it's like a little more unique. So I think that's what they were trying to do along the lines of many other things. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that they created, and it's just been being used since then.
All right. Yeah, because from what I understand, it's used to, those are put on securities. So for instance, let's take the birth certificate. The reason why you can't copy it is because if you copy their document, it would be essentially securities fraud, because it does have it's a security and it has a value placed on it when that CUSIP is on there. And it was used to identify that specific document to having a value. And so it's regulated by saying in the number, this is the country, this is the municipality or entity that we provided this specific code to, and blah, 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 along the lines of what's also encoded into that particular code. So it's this type of security. All that information is what's in the CUSIP, and they use that to identify just that as a security.
Yeah, exactly. And we also do birth certificates as well. We can look those up as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cliff says, "Is the CUSIP you obtain as reliable as the Bloomberg terminal?" Thank you so much for being on the live. Bad Wolf salute. So I'm not familiar with what there might be exactly saying. The Bloomberg terminal, does that mean anything to you, Shawn?
Yeah. So this is the terminal here. This is a screenshot from the terminal. So basically, if you see here, there is a CUSIP number here at the top. Let me zoom in here. but yeah, it is reliable to answer his question. I mean, I think what he's trying to ask is that if it's is the Bloomberg terminal used? And yes, it is. The Bloomberg terminal is used, and basically you see here. So this is a screenshot from the terminal, and this one here is a mortgage security. Let me zoom in a little more here. Sorry, just 1 second. And are you able to see the numbers?
Not perfectly clear. I mean, for me, but my screen's also smaller because I have everything going on. So, but it should be full screen for everybody else.
Okay. So you see here, this is the name of this particular trust. This is an actual lookup. So basically here at the top here in orange, this is the name of the securitization trust. This is a RMBS trust. You see here, US RMBS. And then when you look up here, you'll see the main CUSIP, and this is the main CUSIP attached to this trust. And you see here, it's 16678RCT2. And so to answer his question, this is basically the terminal used to pull up the trust and also the CUSIP. And so we're able to pull CUSIPs and bond information relating to the CUSIP from the terminal. So it's kind of a tool that's used, and people like to see this information to pull it up and have these screenshots in there. But yeah, it is reliable. We all, of course, we have to say it's data deemed reliable and not guaranteed. That's something that they say in the data industry,
Sure.
but it's reliable. That's basically what I can say. And basically anybody with a terminal can go in the world can look this up. Now, these Bloomberg terminals are used by people all over the world. A lot of people on Wall Street use them. Hedge fund managers use them. Wall Street traders, people doing financial research, and it is pricey to use this terminal. So, but yeah, and basically you see here, it's a lot of raw data. And you see basically the balance, if you notice here, is basically in the billions here. The original balance on this thing, you see, and then the current balance, it went down for some reason. And then you'll see the different parties involved relating to this securities trust. And you'll see all this information here. So that's why a lot of people ask for the Bloomberg terminal information, because it has this information in there. And then going down. Yeah.
Real quick question. Sam says, how long do CUSIPs stay in play? So what do you got on that?
Yeah, I mean, they stand in play. I mean, you could look up a past CUSIP, current one. I mean, haven't seen any one of the CUSIPs really. I mean, there's a database of them, so you could pull them in the past, and in the present, and the future. I mean, for like pre-funding if it's going to be funded type thing. But yeah, no, they're just like loan numbers. It's a ticker symbol, right? So like if I look up a stock ticker symbol of a stock in the past, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they changed the ticker now. Maybe they added one letter to it or something, but it's still there. You can go look it up. There's a database of them.
So another quick question is from Charles. He says, can you provide a representative for court if needed? I know most settle to not expose the fraud.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, Charles, well, to answer your question, I mean, I knew the answer, but I wanted you to answer it.
Absolutely.
But yes, Charles, the answer to your question is yes. They are in a position where everything that they do, they have people who are trained, certified experts, licensed and all the appropriate things. And so, yes, they can be an expert witness.
Yeah, we have an expert witness. There's a full affidavit, a resume, curriculum vitae included in there. And yeah, these our audits have been used in court all over the country, in court cases and negotiations and all kinds of different ways. But yeah, we do have an expert witness that can testify. That's how we like to say it. Nowadays, especially post COVID, they do a lot of the testifying on Zoom. So it's really simple nowadays. I remember years ago in the industry. I'll tell you this interesting story. It was a big case on the East Coast, well, a pretty decent sized case, and we had an expert witness at the time, basically, he told me a story where he got flown out to go testify. So he got flown over there. He's over there. He walks in the courtroom and goes sits in the back, where the people are sitting. And then the defense attorneys of the bank, they saw him walking in. So they were betting on the fact that he wasn't going to show up back then, pre-COVID. Yeah. So remember, this is pre-Zoom days, right? And so he walks in. They see him. They know who he is. They know he's the expert witness. Is he going to testify? So then the defense attorneys of the bank they ask the judge for a recess. And they go into the judge's chamber, and then they settled out the case with the homeowner's attorney. So the case, they were scared that the expert witness was going to testify.
Now, one of the questions, Shawn, you're going to get, which is the elephant or the white wolf in the room, if you will, is, and if you don't have it, that's awesome. If you do have it, if you want to share, because I know people are going to ask, can they capitalize on there? Do you know how to, monetize or get access to the credit? Because I know people are just on the edge of their chairs asking how to do that. Is that something you guys do, about, or is that a whole nother, animal in a different room right now?
Oh, you mean access to their credit with the treasury and all that?
Well, yeah. Well, because one of the things is, years ago when I researched this information, I was always told that the CUSIP numbers are internal only, and they never answered a question of who has the true subrogation to the securities. Right. Because our name is on it, but yet our parents might have taken it out, but yet the state issued it. So can you kind of answer some of that in there if you know anything about that?
Yeah, so I have heard of people that will get the information from us, the audits and the research and the lookups, and then they go about, using what we have in that process. Now, our company is not actively involved in that side of things. That is a different side of things. But, if your subscribers want to email me, I'll be more than happy to point them in the right direction. But yeah, that is a different side of things, because with us here, we mainly do the research and the audits that are used in the cases and in these processes. So in these situations that people are trying to go about getting their credit and trying to go about, like, for example, how, ask yourself this question: how would you go about getting your credit if you never did a CUSIP lookup, right? So you would need to do a CUSIP lookup first, get the data from us, get the analysis, and then go about that process. Now, there are some people out there that are doing that process. There are some individuals out there with their own services and things like that. But yeah, here mainly we're doing the audits, the research and investigation. We stand with the people, and the reports are used in those processes, among many other processes as well.
Okay. Yeah. Between you and me, send me that information, or I will be in contact with you, because I like to know myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So Chris Pearson, what's going on, good brother Chris? He says, can this process be used to find the CUSIP for a private master indemnity bond?
Yeah. Now private bonds are a little different. There could be some issues of data published availability, but yeah, that is possible. We'd have to take a look at it first and see. But you're more than welcome to email it to me, and I can let you know if we can do it or not.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Good questions, people out there. Take it away, Shawn. Let's go. I love it. I love what you're bringing. Let's go.
Wonderful. I'd like to show an international one, because last time I was on your stream, we got a good small percentage of people from international. So that just shows, how famous you're becoming, right, in other countries. So we got some international clients and people contacting us. So this one, for my international crowd outside of the US, I just like to show this one really quick. This is a lookup from the terminal. This is a bond, and basically here's the issuer information. And this one is interesting. This one actually has an ISIN number right here. So you can actually see the ISIN number, the ID number, and it's right here. And that's one of the things people sometimes ask us for as well. So those for international, we can do international debt as well, mortgages, auto credit. And yeah, I just wanted to show this really quick so that they could see it. This one is a UK-based one. And this industry here says a treasury type industry relating to this one. And really quick, just want to show this. So this some of the information that you'll see. And yeah, so this one here is for my international crowd.
Okay.
And then moving right along. Here is another example. Basically, this one here. This one here is basically showing you this is another lookup of a trust. And basically here you see, here's a CUSIP number. And this one, let me zoom in a little bit more. So here you can see an actual CUSIP number relating to a securities trust. I hope your audience can see this. I'm trying to zoom as much as I can.
Yeah.
So you see. Okay. So this one here, it's 81378KAC3. So this is a CUSIP relating to this particular trust. This one here is about $140 million balance. And again, this one, the balance went down to 76 million. And, you can even see the bond rating on this section here, little box right here. And so you can see this one's actually, it was a AAA rating originally, and then it went down to C rating. So basically, like, these trusts basically have an investment side. So basically, like, the investors can invest. Like let's say I wanted to invest in this trust as a stockholder or as a public investor. So they would get a pool of investors to pool and invest in this trust, and then they will, in return, give you a return on your money. So basically, obviously, it's going to be higher than what your typical bank will pay. So, they have to keep their ratings up. And, when their ratings go down like this, basically what this could indicate is that, for example, they're not performing, or like, let's say they have, 1,000 mortgage loans or 1,000 auto loans or 1,000 credit loans in this credit card loans in this trust. Those, like, let's say it's auto loans and they're not performing. So the auto loan clients are not paying their monthly payment, high default rate, and it affects this and ultimately affects their rating here. So like me, let's say I'm an investor and I see this rating, then I see this is performance is possibly not the best. So that could, based on this rating, that could affect my decision to invest in this particular trust. And that's just to give you one side of things, how it relates to that side. Yeah, so this one here, this is inside of an actual report that we did. I can't show the full report for the interest of time, and also because it's somebody's report here. Basically, if you see, this is an actual screenshot of a particular trust relating to an auto loan. So this particular screenshot, and you see here this is the CUSIP number relating to this securities, the securities or bond. Okay. And this is part of an actual report that we did for an auto loan, for someone's auto loan that was securitized. So this particular auto loan, I believe was about, it was like a $30,000 or $20,000 auto loan. And so if you look here, you see the CUSIP, this is a U.S. auto. So U.S. auto, this basically is telling you that this particular trust securitizes auto loans in the U.S. So that's the U.S. auto here. And then the issuer, you see Adli Auto Receivables Trust, Ally Bank. And one of the things about the trustee, you see Deutsche Bank, you're going to, in your own research, you're going to see Deutsche Bank pop up a lot in these particular types of research. And they're pretty big. And they're relating to securitization a lot. So one of the things I would recommend for your subscribers is do some research on Deutsche Bank securities, and you on Google, you'll read a lot of information relating to this particular bank and the trusts as well. So basically, you see here some big numbers here. Original balance again was higher, and the current balance is about $100 million on this particular trust. So this trust attached to this CUSIP basically is worth about $100 million. So just to put those type of numbers in perspective. So that's the value of this trust or bond.
So one of the questions that just kind of came through from Jesse James, she mentioned that she knows that there were different traders on the bond or securities that she particularly had looked up herself. And she was asking, can you explain how that works? So what are they really doing with it? They're like, what, trading it? People are just like you're kind of explaining now, they're investing in it. What?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you're going to see different players involved, right? So in this trust here, for example, you're going to see three different you're going to see the three different names, right? So when you see different traders or different, we like to call them different parties involved. So Ally, see, this is the issuer. So basically, when you see the issuer, that means that they're issuing the trust, and it's labeled here. And then one of the things I'd recommend her do is maybe look at, if there are labels for the different traders involved or the different parties involved in her particular research. So the data that she has, she could look it up and see if it's labeled. If it's not, we can also look it up as well on the terminal. And the good thing about the terminal, it has labels like this. So for example, see here, it'll say servicer. So servicer Ally Bank is basically saying it's the servicer. Now, servicer could mean different things. This one, it could mean that it's either servicing the auto loans in the database or it's servicing the trust's needs. It could just mean different things. We'd have to dig a little deeper in the trust to find that out. But the good thing about this, it shows you the different parties. The lead manager, in this case, sometimes you'll see another bank here or another financial company listed here. In this particular example, it's just saying that the lead manager is joint. So it could be that it's split between these two or the issuer. And basically, the lead manager is basically managing the trust. So managing the documentation, the filing, and other things relating to that. And then the trustee, of course, is Deutsche Bank. And so the trustee, as you know, like, for example, in mortgages, trustees are used in foreclosure proceedings, right? Trustees are used in different capacities relating to the trust. So basically, each particular player or each particular trader, like to answer a question, they have a different purpose. So it could be that, one could be the servicer, one is the lead manager, the trustee, the issuer. So that's the answer to a question. Now, you might also have one that maybe is sold multiple times. So in her research, maybe she found that there were multiple companies involved, that maybe the loan was sold multiple times. So it could indicate that it's been sold multiple times. So it could just be different things. If she wants, she can email me her information. I can take a look at it and help her with it to answer her question as well further.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So we're going to take a quick little 2-minute break here. So Yolanda says, hit the like button. So if you guys like the information, all right, that I dang near guarantee you guys have not seen this. You have not seen it being offered. Not in this detail, not in the depth. Hit that like button. We've got, I'm going to pop up on the screen here. Shawn's information once again. This is how you get in contact with him for all the other stuff. He's got his website up, so check that out. Bang that information. Hit the like here for us as well. So we have a question here from Matthew. He said, what is the significance of securitization? What effect does something being securitized versus not have? And then is it essentially a financial contract with the APR, which can be split into shares?
Yeah. So basically, from the obviously the bank side, right? When they're securitizing loans, basically they're like you saw in this example here, right? So this is a huge balance. So they're taking the loans, securitizing them, and then the interest, there's interest and dividends relating to this. So they get investors to invest in it, and then there's a performance. Obviously, when the banks are selling the loans, they're profiting, right? They're funding on the front end, and then they're securitizing, which basically you're in a sense selling it into a trust. So they're selling the loans. So the benefit is, of course, profits. They want profits. They want to monetize the loan. Obviously, that the banks take our money and then they lend it out to other people. So this, in a sense, when you sign on the dotted line on the note, you're basically that debt, right? That's created in a sense using, the fractional lending system in the banks that's giving you that debt loan now is being monetized and securitized, and they're making even more money off of it. So it has to do with profits. And as you see with some of these examples that I've shown you, the balances are really high, and I've seen even higher balances than these. So there's another side to it where you have investors that invest, there's dividends, there's interest. So there's all kinds of different angles that they're playing here, but it all comes back to millions of dollars profits that are just being constantly made. So, and what was his final? He was asking something about APR.
He says, is it essential for a financial contract with a APR, which can be split into shares?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's something where the financial companies, if they split a financial instrument, into different shares, or, I mean, that's kind of a financial question. I guess, yeah, it would be profitable if they do that. I mean, I need more information to answer that question, but he can more than happy to email me, and then I can answer that fully. But yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're dealing with any time, things are financial instruments are being split up into shares, there's some financial motive, some relating to profits to that. So.
All right. So, yeah, Matthew, just go ahead and hit Shawn up. His email information's on here. As always, guys, please be respectful of Shawn's time and understand that anytime we do a video on when we did a securitization video, everything that we do, he is bombarded, and, it's not like he's got 100 people on the staff, maybe one day.
Yeah.
So, but for now, just understand that he will get to you as soon as he can. He will provide you with what he can and what he has. So just like, we're all in this trying to learn. So be respectful when you're messaging him and how you communicate with him. I know most of my normal people do that anyway. So thank you guys for having sharp questions and being respectful of his time. He's like me. He's not here for 100 million questions. He's here to provide a service, here to help you guys out, but he's also trying to make money too. We all are. Everybody here has a job for the most part. I would hope so. So understand to be respectful that, he can't walk you through every single thing. If you guys want to do a consultation with him, if he wants to do that, or he has it outside of just, this particular service, then ask him and see what he can do for you. So try to be respectful. Be respectful in how you speak. You know what I mean? Don't say, hey, where I want my trust. I want to give me the, so because I know sometimes I get that too, and I just don't answer emails. So, keep it professional, be cool, be respectful of time. And if not, then he might just ignore your information just to keep it real. I mean, I'm speaking for me, but he can do that too. Nobody has a blown out obligation to jump to anybody's whim, especially if you haven't paid us. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real, not trying to be a dick or anything, because some people are just very snappy and very, disrespectful. So, but you guys, like I said, 99% of the time, I never hear any problems from, about my people. So thank you for that. And without further ado, Shawn, let's keep it rolling. What else you got, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. Yeah, and just like to add to that. Yeah, I mean, I'm here to help. I like talking to people, and I'm a man that's for the people, with the people, I'd like to say. And yeah, you guys can feel free to ask me questions and email me for information. I give people free stuff, free templates all the time if they need help with something. I'm basically one of the few, if not the only, CEO in the industry where you'll actually have my personal cell phone number. And I'm basically known. I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm known for, like, people call me up on a Saturday night, Sunday night, they need something done. I'll get it done for them, So reputation to me is very important, it's like they say, you can build your whole life, you can build your reputation and destroy it in 5 minutes, right? So I
Right.
basically, is my reputation is very important, and I like to help people, and I'm very accessible to the people, and that's how I like to be, and that's just basically how I was raised as a person. And regardless of the title, the CEO title and everything like that, ultimately, we are human, and we're here to learn and interact with each other. And for me, I like that. And I like, giving someone, a set of templates that, they use to educate themselves, and they might lead them to something positive, right? Or it might just save them, how much time you're going to save from getting our educational kit, because I think people have a tendency of going in 30 different directions sometimes when they start getting into this area. And then I try to guide them in what I know. And then obviously you can go down the other roads as well. But you want to start on the main road, right, before you go onto the tangent and the side roads, right? So, but yeah, no, I'm more than welcome to help. I do get bombarded with emails sometimes. If I don't get to you, just please send me another email, like a follow-up, reply to the same email, and then I'll get to you and get what you need, as time permits. But yeah, he is right. I do get bombarded sometimes, like especially when I do these live streams, but I will get to you, and I do want to get to each and every one of you. Trust me.
So, Shawn, Goldsmith says, can you also look up a master CUSIP? No, so I've never heard that phrase before. Is there such a thing? And if there is, I would assume you can. But what do you know about that?
Yeah, we can. It's just interchangeable stuff. People kind of coin online sometimes, or just as they're doing the research. So yeah, master CUSIPs we can. Like going back to the mortgage securities example when I was explaining the tranches, right? Technically, you can call the main identifier CUSIP of the trust. Like for example, this one here. This is the main identifier trust. And then there's CUSIPs that, like on a mortgage security, you'll see CUSIPs that identify parts of the tranche. What might be like 5, 6, 7, or 8, 9, or even 10 of them. So the master CUSIP would be the main CUSIP that identifies the trust for the bond. So yeah, that we can identify. And as you see, we identified it here. So yeah, that is we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
D. Morris says, honest question. It's understandable that crooks will be crooks, but understanding the encroachment, are we able to benefit, or are we due a percentage of this CUSIP? So kind of like what we were talking about before, with our name on there, our parents having taken it out, the states having then, issued it, if so, or the banks, or I see somebody else kind of mentioned, what about the courts? How does that help in court? So what's the relationship there?
Yeah, so obviously, these financial instruments, these type of documents that he mentioned are being monetized, securitized, right? This money is being made. Again, that obviously, that's something that is like, okay, that's something that I would be more than happy to talk to him one on one. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if they are making money, there's a question as to whether something like that, is those profits are they owed, right? But that's going to be a question that has to be answered by the courts and the processes that are followed. That's something, unfortunately, I can't answer. It would only be my opinion, but I would kind of not want to answer that right now, because
Right.
that's a whole nother area. But
It's
obviously, in my opinion, I am for
whole,
the people. So whatever benefits the
yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a whole nother monster. Now, my opinion, educational information only, because they do put us in co-trustee and somewhat co-beneficiary. And this is not Shawn saying, this is just my thoughts, educational information only, is that by subrogation, we do have a interest in it, and through subrogation, we should be included in it. Now, in a separate thing, in another talk I had with somebody who was researching this, they informed me that yes, we do have a specific right to it, but that doesn't mean we have 100% of that right to it. So, like he said, that would be something more so for court. It's a whole nother monster. But if your name is on something, and you are the holder of said document with that number, there is some interest, we will say there. But now, as to um, you know all of it, what exact percentage, that's a monster for, something we can try to find out as time goes on. But I would say that there is. We're not going to hold Shawn to anything, or we're going to leave that where it is for now. But I would say yes. If your name is on it, you're holding the what? They give you what, guys? A title. And if that document has the number on there, to me, my information, my education, informational purposes only, that it's kind of like if you go to a company and they give you a stock share, you have to have some entitlement to that document if they're giving it to you. Now, what percentage, that's a whole nother animal for another day, but there's something there. So we are on the path. We're covering areas that other people haven't even gotten to. So like, share, subscribe, all that. And we're going to keep it moving. So yes, I would say there's something there legally that might be something to discuss with the courts, or contacting their legal department of the place that issued it. And that is your path. So we will leave it at that for now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just to those that are looking in this area, just do your research. There's a lot of stuff you could read online, and it's just make sure to do your research. And here's pretty much one of the last examples I have for tonight, and this is another a CUSIP. Basically, again, this one is a mortgage backed security, and then you see the CUSIP up here, and then you see the balances again. You see this one went down. It was $380 million, and then it came down to 9 million. So, there could be some issues relating to the performance. And then you see here you have the different banks involved with this particular one. And U.S. Bank National is one of the ones you're going to see pop up a lot as well. But yeah, I definitely recommend, you can download these directly from the website. So if you want to dig into this deeper, you can actually download this sample from the website, the company website, and you can kind of dig into it deeper as well if you want to do more research on it. And if you have any questions, you can, you can go ahead and email us as well. But yeah,
Now, this
Mhm.
might not be exactly a question for you. This might be more sort of towards me. I have a couple ideas. But it says, I have an arbitration award against a debt buyer, but unable to get it recognized by a federal court, thus unable to collect the award. What can be done? Do you know anything about that, Shawn?
What type of debt is it?
It just says, I have an arbitration award against a debt buyer, but does not say what type of
Oh, I
debt
see.
or anything
I
more.
think he's having issues collecting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be, yeah. See, that's the thing. And when you get a judgment, right, for on a court case, right, you have to go collect on it. So that's gonna be issue of him going about collecting. Um, you know, if it's against a big company or like a bank or a lender, there are ways to collect. There are companies or people that you can contact that can help you with that. But if it's against a private party or things like that, it could be a little different, right? Because if you sue someone, right, and you get a judgment, then you have to collect from that person. But when you're doing it against a company, it's a different animal. Like for example, a big bank or something like that, you can probably collect on it, or maybe they'll pay you a part of it, just to get rid of you. So there's a lot of ways you can approach that. He can email me directly with the judgment. Let me take a look at it, and then I can point him in the right direction.
All right. All shucks, if you're still listening, contact Shawn and he can help try to guide you. So you guys have to understand that, remember, we're on a public platform. So there's a lot of things that should really be
Yeah.
discussed in the private, because those are in fact private things. So you guys can talk about that in private. Now, for me, educational information only at the top of my head is you can always find somebody who sell or buys debt. Find
Right.
somebody who buys debts. I know people have done UCC liens, because if you have an award against them and they don't want to pay, other than a debt collector, you have the ability to file a lien because it's been proven that they owe and they're not paying. You can also look at their insurance, find out who the insurance company that company is working with, because they'll have to have them, and file a claim. So there might be other things, but contact Shawn if he's got some ideas. In the private, he will give you his educational, informational purposes only on how to proceed with something in that way, with that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, if you want if you want to discuss further any questions that they might have, I'm open to any of the Q&A session if you'd like to do that now. Or
yeah, we can do that. All right, guys. So at this point, we're opening up to total questions about either the securitization, your home audits, your CUSIP numbers, anything you guys want to have. We're going to focus on that information for the next 10 minutes or maybe 15, and then we're going to shut it down. Provide your questions. If not, we will wrap it up in a couple of minutes. And don't worry, we will be doing more lives. So feel free to reach out to Shawn for your audits and your questions, CUSIP, all that stuff, and things associated. He can take care of that for you. All right. So any questions, put them in the comments now. We'll give everybody a couple of seconds here, maybe a minute or two to question up. If not, like I said, we'll just wrap it up, and then people can reach out.
All right, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Like I said, you get the free kit with the bonus material. If you have any questions about a specific thing that you had that you heard me talk about, or you have something you want me to look at, be more than welcome to take a look at it for you. We do also offer like research packages, like if you have something you want researched, you want us to take a look at, we do those as well. But yeah, just feel free to reach out anytime. Recommend going on the website and just scheduling a call. Like click on the contact page and schedule a time and date where you'd like a call back from us.
All right, Shawn, they're starting to come in here. So Matthew says, and he goes, if so I'm not where he's starting from, but he goes, is the security value equal to the original loan?
Oh no, it's a different value. So obviously when they're monetizing the loan, they're selling it, then these loans are being pooled into other loans, right? And so then the security value goes up. As you saw with the examples, you saw some of them being $100 million, $9 million, upwards of, I've seen them in $200-300 million range. And so your typical mortgage loan is going to be under $1 million, right? So maybe in the $250,000-500,000 range nowadays. A lot of people's mortgages are in the $500,000 range. So yeah, the security value is going to be much higher than the loan amount. James, could I just stop sharing now and just go on the main screen so I can see their questions?
Yeah, I can pull it from there. You okay. Want you on, or you want to remove the website?
Yeah, I'll just go back on the screen so I can so I can see their questions coming through.
Okay.
Would that be good?
All right. So to answer your question, Rebecca, go to my main YouTube channel, go to the live section. All my lives will always be up. They're right in that playlist. That's where you can find that. Adam Pro says, how did he start his interest in this endeavor? So I guess, whether it's mortgage, part, and then obviously CUSIP. So sure. Give him a quick, synopsis on that.
Absolutely. And James, are you able to put my information back on the screen?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Right,
1 second.
Yeah, so Adam Pro, yeah, I've been working, I worked in real estate since 2006. And then basically I got into this particular area. Basically, I was my background is software engineering. And basically I was involved in software programs, developing software programs relating to the mortgage industry. And then basically that's kind of how I got into this area. And then I just made a conscious choice. I realized that a lot of people out there needed help, in this type of market. And, I kind of saw what some of these banks were doing to people, especially during that first crash in 2008, and the whole loan modification boom thing came out. And, it was just some of the banks were just playing games with people, and I'm sure some of the people know about this, and how they would ask, people to send documents in and shuffle the documents and say they never got them. And those are some of the stories I heard. And you could see these in some of the cases and some of the things online relating to this, that people say these things. So I've heard many stories. I realized that there was a need for it. So, basically I started my company and in this particular industry. And, forensic loan audits have actually been around since the 80s, but it became big during the last boom, the 2008 boom, because what happens is when you have so many foreclosures, you have so many defaults, then people will come to this type of industry for our help, because a good percentage of our files are used in, to defend foreclosures. So against the banks. So yeah, to answer your question, basically I saw the need and then I just made a conscious choice to help people. And, I really enjoy doing what I do, and I like talking to people and I like trying to help their situations. And I hope that, I can continue to do that.
All right. We got another question. How does the DTC or the DTCC and the CEDE and company relate? So do you know anything about those companies? I'm familiar with the DTCC a little bit, but anything you can say how all that relates to what the CUSIPs?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with those. I think that he's referring to something that might be relating to the CUSIPs on the front or back end. But yeah, if you could email me, I'll answer his question more after he gives me more detailed info. But I see the next question. She says that she's fighting 3 foreclosures since 2008. Okay. And see, this is an example of basically somebody that's been fighting a foreclosure, for a very long time. Sometimes I'll talk to people that are in, we call it foreclosure limbo, foreclosure limbo 10, 15 years. And I mean, I can only imagine what it is to live like that. And my, heart goes out to you. And I'm sorry that you're facing that. But, something in that situation, I definitely recommend you have us take a look at your documentation. There could be some stuff on the front end, on the back end, especially loans from that era, the 2008 era. That was a lot of securitization that was going on in that era, especially 2006, 2007, 2008. There could be some securitization fraud. There could be some, assignment robo-signer fraud, something there where if you're fighting a foreclosure and they're coming at you legally, there could be some things that, some reports that we could do that you could use in that process to defend it. So I definitely recommend to her to reach out to us. But yeah, see, that's an example of someone that's basically been in foreclosure limbo for, over 10 years. So.
All right. Yeah. You would think there would be, yeah, it's they you I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they play games, unfortunately. We've all seen it, it's not illegal, but it's immoral and improper from my perspective. But yeah, they like to play these games. Okay, so Matthew has another question. It says owning a stock entitles the owner to dividends on profit. So he says, where is the profit in this scenario? Is it because the security is used to fund further loans, which returns interest and would be profit?
See, the loan, when the loans are funded on the front end, right? The bank funds the loan, and then they're securitized into the trust. So those trust examples that I shown you, those are like large securitization trusts that have the loans in them. And then from that side, they're monetizing and they're earning interest on that side. So that's we call that the secondary market. So that's the back end. Yeah. So that's kind of different from what he was mentioning. But yeah, they're making profits on the back end, not the front end. So the front end, they're funding the loan. You get the loan, you sign, and then the bank monetizes, securitizes on the secondary market, and they make profits on the secondary end. To answer her question, how long for Shawn help? Yeah, new mortgages. We could do new mortgages. We could even do it pre-funding. So, we have clients that send us their documentation as they're getting their loan funded, like the TILA, RESPA, the good faith estimate. We put the file together, and then when they get fully funded, then we finish the report. I've seen files where they get the loan funded, and then literally like there's a disclosure in there, or like the next day or the following week, they'll get something that they say your loan has been transferred or servicer has been transferred. So yeah, we could do new loans. I mean, new loans from the day of, the next day, same week. Really doesn't matter as long as there's some documentation we can go off of. We could pretty much audit any type of loan. Yeah, can we create our own securities? Well, I mean, you could pretty much do anything if you have the money for it, right?
Yep. Cliff's got a question for you.
Yeah. So basically, I've been in this industry over 15 years, this specific industry. And basically, the percentages of inclines are well, basically, the percentages, I think if he's referring to the cases, see, we do the reports, and then the reports, like, for example, attorneys order from us, other people order from us, consumers order from us, and then like the attorneys, they use them in their cases. So we've been involved in some pretty big cases. We've been involved in many, other types of cases where it's just foreclosure defense, just straight negotiations. So yeah, I mean, we have a good percentage of success rate because the reports are, we're pro consumer, so obviously we're trying to help the consumer. So as far as being on the consumer side, yeah, we have a good percentage and we have a good track record. If you email me, I can email you a list of cases and some other information relating to that as well.
All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Cliff says, thank you very much. Aaron says, wow. All right. Adam Pro says, they are brokering our trust. Oh my God.
Yeah, they're brokering a lot of things.
Okay. Tucker says, can the bank repossess a car, sale or sell it, and then file the gap insurance?
Well, that depends on the specific file. There's some disclosures that when you get your loan, you sign, and if you have gap insurance, from what I understand, gap insurance is basically covering the like there was one that I was looking at not too long ago, and the gap insurance, they said that the gap insurance covers if the car gets in an accident, there's a difference in the value, and they'll cover the repairs for the value, right, or the insurance. So yeah, just that depends. I mean, I'd have to look at the disclosures, but there's a lot of things that they will do blatantly sometimes, and then that's why it's important to get the audit done, because if they didn't have a disclosure in there that said that they could do it, or it was worded improperly, and that's where we come in and basically catch them on it, right? Yeah, we could look up to answer the next question. We could look up bail bonds. Yeah, we could look those up.
All right. And I guess based off of that, I've seen somebody else had mentioned something about court. So we've all heard that the court essentially creates a bond with a CUSIP number. I've had many clients come to me and make mention of them requesting the CUSIP number for the case. So you can look those up. And do you have any, I guess, information on how that relates or how you can use it, or whatever you can share, or that if you would be so kind to indulge us.
Yeah, sure. So those are basically the CUSIPs that are connected to the case and relating to the monetization. So I've seen a sheet actually, where there were CUSIPs listed next to certain cases. So yeah, those are, like, for example, once where a person is able to, for example, pull up a CUSIP relating to a case, you could actually go and look up the CUSIP bond information or the securities or something that's relating to that case. And that's something that other people have mentioned to me that they like to bring up in their hearings, or in they're using it to some angle, right, to either resolve their case or open up other avenues for their case. So there's a lot of ways different people use it, but yeah, there are we can look those up for the cases.
Okay, awesome. Adam Pro says, how many CUSIPs do people have? Well, far as I know, it's from what I've seen is that not all states are issuing documents with CUSIPs on their birth certificates. So I don't think that every state is monetizing them. I think that it is a choice that the state's internal people have decided to do in certain states. I could be wrong, but CUSIPs are on a lot of the things that they issue. But what's your take on that, Shawn?
Yeah, I mean, there could be multiple CUSIPs. It could be a CUSIP connected to your social, to your birth certificate, your mortgage, your auto. So, to answer that question safely, I'd say there could be multiple CUSIPs, obviously depending on your situation.
Right, right. Yeah. It's hard to say. You just have to look at your documents. Now,
Yeah.
and quote me if I'm wrong, but aren't usually the CUSIPs identified in red lettering, or have you seen them in black? What do you know about that?
I've seen them in different fonts. I mean, yeah, depending on the data, yeah.
Okay, because I know usually the ones I've seen were mostly in red, but I have seen some that were issued in black.
Yeah.
Of course, from what we know, usually the red represents a positive account or something connected to the private or equity, something of lawful money in general, but that doesn't mean exclusively. So that's why I
Right.
was just kind of interested to see if you had seen any trends, excuse me, I guess in that particular area, something that would stick out to you that you know, um,
Yeah.
be curious, I guess, if you will, for lack of a better way of
Yeah.
explaining it.
Yeah, like for example, the loan numbers. Like a lot of people don't realize that. For example, the loan numbers. When you have a loan, right? You have a loan number, and then it gets securitized. Sometimes the loan number changes, and then so like it could just be a record keeping issue. It could just be an issue where they change the loan number. So it just could be that the data aggregates, the data database, whatever they're using it for, how they're publishing it. It could just be different things relating to that, the font color, or maybe even changing the numbers over time. There's just things that relate to that. Like, for example, when the loan number changes, right, and they change the loan number when they securitize it, there's a reason why they're doing that, right? So it could be where they want to, maybe there's a conflict of data, or there's just some internal reason why they're doing that.
One of the things I had heard lightly mentioned in my little inner crew is they noticed that some places that were having them on there may not have them on the CUSIP on there anymore. So it seems like almost, this is just me being hypothetical here, that either they are in some degrees or in some states maybe they're trying to hide this now,
Mhm.
and that maybe some of them are doing like the QR codes instead, a barcode instead, or they have, maybe they're keeping it internal where the sheet itself might have a serialization number, like your number 5,800 and whatever, and then internally they correlate that to a private CUSIP number. So have you heard of anything like that, seen anything, or do you think that the fact that this is a security, that it has to be on there because that's in fact what it is and has to be identified? So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there definitely has to be an identifier. And yeah, if they're changing it, yeah, it could be, because obviously there's a lot of people out there that are becoming awake to this, right? So there could be like people are filing lawsuits, arbitration, legal letters, right? And so what happens is they see it on their end, so they might start changing stuff and maybe what they're called and labels. I mean, I saw a situation where there was a securitization trust, and there was a case where it was blatant fraud relating to this trust. And so what happened was um, the researcher went to go look at the trust information again to verify some information, and then the securitization trust, had just depublished most of the data. So they actually removed all the documents. We still had copies of them, but they depublished everything because of the blatant fraud relating to it. So and that was because there was some type of lawsuit or something relating to it. But yeah, you see things like that, where it's like, okay, if there's, now the wave is getting higher. People are looking CUSIPs. People are contacting these different companies, asking for their CUSIPs and wondering what's going on, right? So there could be some changes, on their end.
Well, and one of the things for me is that um, I always try to play things like we're playing chess.
Yeah.
So for me, and let me know, guys, if I'm not coming in good, on your end. But one of the things for me is in order to stay, to be proactive or to keep in mind, like, to I don't want to say necessarily outthink them, but outfox the fox, if you will, is to look at how they could change things. Because one of the things that people don't know is that I was going to go into military for intelligence and whatever else. So breaking codes and things of that things all came natural to me. So one of the things I always do is I look at things as if I was in control of these aspects or whatever else. How would I hide it? How would I code it? I always joke with people and I tell you, like, I know that they watch my stuff and that's fine. Um, and it's understanding that they're probably my number one fans because they want to see where their weaknesses are so that they could try to close the gap or to move things. Now, they can't get rid of these things because there's certain laws in place, but what they can do is hide it or change it a little bit. They can move it.
Yeah.
They can just shimmy it a little bit to the left or to the right so that it's not fully open. I mean, it's the same thing they did with the passport. They used to have a clear box on there that says check this to be a state citizen, and that's all it was. And yet now we know that you need to know the code, where to put the code, depending on the documents you send in, all these little things. So as you can predict, all things that show a weakness, they're going to, as I say in my videos, as we move, they move. All right. And so one of my favorite lines in I think it was Blade 2, the head vampire goes to Blade. He goes, basically, it's like this. He goes, my hat goes off to my enemy who shows me where I'm weak, for I can then make myself strong, is essentially what he kind of relayed to it. So, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm a big Blade fan.
What's that?
No, I'm a big Blade fan as well.
Oh, yeah.
Or how?
And on that same thing, like for those people who don't know, before Black Panther was around, Blade was doing his thing and is what saved that whole movie industry. I mean, that was the movie. And still to this day, I have not seen an opening scene where somebody introduced a character more tough than that Blade blood rave scene in the back of the meat market, man. That blew me away right out of the gate.
Yeah, I like that scene. and going from what you said, I like that. I also like the where when he fought the original Dracula that came back from his hibernation, and then he came back to this time, and then Blade defeats him in the end, and then he tells Blade that he fought with honor and respect, and that he respects that, and then he gave Blade the gift, right? And I think he shapeshifted into him to make it seem, I think that like Blade died or something, but Blade was really alive. Yeah, so it was like he respected his adversary so much, and that he fought with such ferocity and anger, and honor, fighting with honor, that he gave him a gift in the end. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that was an awesome little twist at the end. There was actually two alternate ending scenes, and that was the main one. But yeah, they had a couple of extra little pieces that they said which ways they could have ended the movie. So I thought that was kind of interesting. DWM support says most bonds are backed by mortgages. If, let's say, the mortgage industry is plummeting, then any trust holding bonds that are mortgage backed will lose a lot of money in relation to the housing market. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously you see with some of these trusts that I showed you, you see some of the values go down, but that really could just be in the performance of them and the ratings. But there are other trusts that are performing as well. That's a whole nother industry. So that industry of investing in those type of things, you have different types. Obviously, if there's a lot of foreclosures, right, and a lot of people are talking about a real estate crash that's coming soon, you're going to see a lot of foreclosures, and how it affects the securities industry, as well. But it could be that they're going to be buying them up as well. So there's different angles relating to that. But a lot of people are talking about a crash that's coming here soon. So we'll see. We'll just look at the indicators. There's actually data you can look There's data published by government funded research institutes that you can go online and you can actually research the published data for how many people are defaulting on their mortgages, on credit card debt and other types of debt. You can compare them to the numbers back in 2007 and 6 and 8 and see how it compares to now. So there's actually data you can look at. I think the market is a little different nowadays, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, everything ebbs and flows. I mean, one of the big secrets a lot of people don't know is that they will play with the market so that they go up and down and for their gain. So don't let the fluctuations fool you. These people, as I forgot who said this, but they said never underestimate the greed of the other man. So though they're going to go up and down, and even if they crash, I mean, most of the time they're going to do that so that they can then swoop in and buy things cheap. What we're seeing right now is a lot of outside companies, foreign and investors from out of state buying up houses everywhere because they can own the house and then they never decide to sell it and just keep it renting. Eventually, if the average person who's private or whatever else doesn't have some property, everything's going to be in a situation where it's already owned and you're going to have to rent from somebody and you won't be able to own a house. Okay? You won't be able to own it. No matter where you go, it'll all be rental, leasing, and whatever else. And for them, that's great because then that means you don't have a place you can pay off and live, rent-free, lease-free, mortgage-free, tax-free, whatever else. It will all be, you always have to continuously to pay somebody in an ongoing lease type scenario. So keep that in mind, all right? Now, that doesn't mean that somebody might come along and they might not, get broken up as a monopoly or, it may not be like, alternative options, like RVs or this, that, or the other, or certain other countries that have land you can still buy. But, I mean, think about the end game. Like if I was them, that's what I would do. If I had the money, I would buy up all the farmlands, control all the farms. I would buy every available house. And then you have to rent from me no matter what. And then me and my other trust fund people or people on the board, we have renters. Because remember, guys, they're not making any more land. So until they officially come out that there's off-world things going on, we're stuck on this mud ball. So if you don't own something, but then again, what do they say? Control everything and own nothing. Well, there's two sides of that coin. Depends on who's saying it and how you really want to move. I would prefer to own something, but, oh, wait, not me, my trust. Okay. So move the way they're moving, but don't take your eyes off the prize. As the old guys used to always tell me growing up, they're coming for your land. All right. They want the gold. They want the land. They tell you, don't worry about that. Gold is outdated. Everything is credit. Don't worry about owning a house. Just rent. I'll rent my house or this property to you for cheap. And then what happens? Then they move with gold in the back half that you never see. Then they always have you leasing from them, and then they increase the rent. All right. So you gotta, some people out there are playing checkers, but you need to learn at least how to play chess. Because what they're doing and what I do mentally every day to deal with them is we're playing what I like to call is four-dimensional Star Trek chess or 4D chess, which is a real thing. You think checkers is something, play chess. You think chess is something, play four-dimensional chess. All right. And that's when you'll see. So, all right. Shawn, I'll let you close out with the last bit of information, how people can get a hold of you. Let me put your stuff back on the screen. Break it down once again, all your services, how to get contact you, best days, times, whatever, and then we're going to shut it down. And guys, if you guys appreciate the knowledge that I brought and Shawn brought and we brought and you guys brought in the comments section, thank you. Hit that like, continue to follow, share this with people who are like-minded. Don't try to bring you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So if somebody's not ready for this information, then it ain't for them. You lead by example. Just like in the old Kung Fu movies, the master, you never seen the master in a Kung Fu movie walk down the street and look for students. You become the master, and then the students will come to you. Okay, so get your education, get your knowledge on, move right, move private, move in trust, And Shawn, take it away, and then we'll close it out. And everybody
Yeah,
have a great night.
absolutely. And one of the things, is kind of dovetailing from what you said earlier about the debt and the leasing. I like to joke with people and say, how much did it cost during the Native American times to live on or by the beach, right? Pretty much nothing, $0, right? And in some areas of the world, it will cost you what, about $5-6 million to buy a house on or like right on the beach, right? So that's something to think about. But yeah, thanks for having me on. Your subscribers, the great questions. I appreciate everybody that came on tonight and listened to the segment that I did. Just closing, it's Shawn Adli. I'm the CEO, Senior Manager of Mortgage Audits Online. We do the mortgage and securitization audits, and we've expanded into the CUSIP lookups for any type of document. Please give me contact us on our website or send me an email. Everybody does get the free kit with the bonus items on there, and you will like the bonus items. They're very good. I would just like to say, I personally, I am a man that's for the people, and I like to come on other channels like James. He's for the people, and others as well, and we're all in this together. I mean, take the title away, take the CEO title away. I'm just a person like everybody else, and I like to help people, and I've always been that way. That's how I was raised, and I just continue on that. I would always like to say the people that show kindness to me as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, my mentors, my teachers, everybody, I feel like I owe it to them to show the kindness and love that they show to me to others. And so I do that, in any way I can. Obviously, it is a business. We are offering a service. We have costs associated to what we do, but if I can help anybody, I can. I give people free templates. I give them free items, free educational courses. I do whatever I can to help those that need and to educate people and those that want it as well. So, just keep that in mind and let's share this information and, like I said, and just help as many people out there as we can. And again, thank you for everyone that was on tonight. Thank you, James Lovett, for having me on tonight and look forward to a next segment. And again, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. That is it from Shawn. Thank you, Shawn. As always, you bring the fire information, and as Shawn continues to grow and evolve and provide products and different services and things, we will bring you guys here pretty much first, or if it's not here, it'll also be first on the Fearless Floyd show. My good brother over there with also beautiful, sexy shirts like your man here. Although today I'm just in black. So with that being said, you guys take care of yourselves. Thank you guys for supporting, and thank you guys for the kind comments. You guys are really. You guys are gonna have to be the ones that carry the torches. You guys have the information. You can vet it from yourself. Shawn's a trained professional. You're getting the truth. All right. There's not many places that are going to give you the truth, and before it even comes out, I vet the information. I deal with professionals who have it, who are willing to provide what they know to help the average private person. For those people who, like MLE, who just popped in, said I missed it. You missed the live per se, but go on YouTube on my James C. Lovett channel or at the Bad Wolf on YouTube. Go to the live playlist and click down through the lives and you will be able to see this and many other ones. I always keep them up. Okay, so they will always be up there. Get Homestead up here in next live, my brother. That'll be fire. Who get Homestead? I'm not sure who that is, but send them my way or email me their information. We can possibly talk and see what we can do about getting them on here. Or unless you're just talking about purely the Homestead, just fill me in. But yeah, so the live is on the main YouTube channel in the live playlist. Okay, so I will never just put them up and then take them down. That defeats my purpose. So with that being said, thank you guys. Have a great night. Have a great week. Start transitioning as the weather changes. Be safe, be wise, stay woke, stay aware, stay healthy. And you guys are making this happen. Like, sure, this is our platform, but it's not just mine, it's ours. That's why I do field your questions, and I do make sure you guys have your, your voice is heard, and we provide you with stuff that you guys can actually use on a daily on a daily basis. You know, not some far out things that don't work and there's nothing to it. And it's buy an expensive package that doesn't do anything. It's not going to benefit you in your everyday life. You don't need all that crap that ain't going to work for you. What you need is just improve your life just a little bit more than what it is means the world. Okay. So remember, you guys have the energy to make things happen. Thank you for supporting me and Shawn. And we will talk to you guys later. Shawn, thank you for coming on the live. As always, it's fire, and you brought great information to help a lot of people. And we will talk to you guys later. So everybody, have a great night.